All right, guys, Wes here. Welcome back to the channel. And it sounds like God of War Ragnarok DLC could actually still be happening. According to a reliable and prominent leaker, Santa Monica Studios is actively working on some new God of War content. So could we be getting a God of War Ragnarok DLC finally, or will it be the half-sequel spin-off game starring Atreus? We know that Santa Monica Studios has been making some moves with their workforce because they've been hiring for individuals that know God of War Ragnarok, from combat designers to engineers. But the question really remains, what is Santa Monica Studios currently working on as it relates to God of War? Is it God of War 6? Will it be Ragnarok DLC, or will it be an Atreus spin-off game? And if it is a DLC or a spin-off game, where will the story take us? Real quick, guys, this video is sponsored by Omni Heroes, a heroic fantasy casual strategy RPG that has received great recommendations from both Google Play and App Store. Omni Heroes' synergy system and masterfully designed Valkyries are key features to enhance gameplay. Players can summon fourth legendary heroes, unlock multiple synergies, and match hundreds of team comps at will. Currently, Omni Heroes is doing a new event called Echoes of the Deep: Set Sail with Tide's Cadence. Explore new depths, prepare to embark on a chilling underwater adventure with a newly introduced event map. This map offers 3 challenging difficulty levels, ensuring that players of all levels can participate. As players progress through these stages, they'll accumulate valuable points which they can exchange for fantastic rewards, including the coveted mermaid skin available exclusively in the event shop. Log in for greatness. By logging in continuously during the event, players can unlock the glorious Valkyrie Marina for free. This is a fantastic opportunity for players to enhance their hero roster. Marina is also joining the Valkyrie Manor with another exclusive skin. Ready to see her in a new light beyond the battlefield? Stunning swimsuit skins get ready to swoon as popular characters. Dorabella and Ayushta don fashionable swimsuit skins. These eye-catching skins are not just stylish, but they also come with unique skill effects and captivating visuals that are sure to impress in battles. Confront the new boss. As the event unfolds, a formidable new boss is making waves. Rally your heroes and challenge this powerful adversary to reap the ultimate rewards. Prepare for an immersive audiovisual journey with Marina's theme song, crafted in collaboration with top Broadway talents. Download Omni Heroes now via the link in my description and dive into the world of chilling adventure. All participants in this new event can claim a free Valkyrie hero and unlock a stunning new skin. But that's not all. The 777 Summons event is still in full swing. Enjoy the exhilaration of the 777 Summons. Now, if you guys have been following my channel for quite a while, where I talk about God of War Ragnarok, then you know that the biggest rumor that we've had so far is either God of War Ragnarok is getting some sort of DLC or a spin-off game starring none other than Atreus. Now, we've gotten a bunch of leaks and rumors regarding new content being added to God of War Ragnarok since the game officially released in November. Now, we haven't had any official confirmation from Santa Monica Studios regarding new content, and the last big update that we've had for God of War Ragnarok added New Game Plus. As of right now, the only confirmation that we have is that God of War Ragnarok would not receive any new content because they had nothing planned. Obviously, plans change. PlayStation could have requested new content in the form of a DLC or an expansion. If you guys remember from the Kinda Funny spoiler cast with Eric Williams, he was asked about potential DLC, to which he said, "I don't know, man. God of War Ragnarok is big. I think we put everything we had in it, so I wouldn't count on it." So Eric Williams, the director on God of War Ragnarok, said that it might not happen, it likely won't, but he never fully shut the door. As you guys know, God of War Ragnarok is allegedly the end of the Norse saga for the God of War franchise, or at least that's what we thought. But according to a brand new leak from a reputable leaker, viewer Anon, Santa Monica Studios is actively working on something new. So not too long ago, IGN posted an article where they said this, and I quote, "The standalone expansion or half sequel has been derided as glorified DLC, but as games take longer to develop, they could be the future of AAA game releases." In the article, they said standalone expansions, half sequels, or glorified DLC, whatever you want to call it, I'm a fan of these kinds of not quite full game, not quite DLC experiences. And with AAA game development now expected to take longer than ever, these half sequels might be a way to address a potential new release shortage. So far, nobody has done them better than PlayStation. To which the article then goes on to talk about Uncharted Lost Legacy and of course Spider-Man Miles Morales. This post then prompted viewer Anon to actually chime in and give us some juicy details about what Santa Monica is currently working on. According to the post, they said, "IGN's bang on here. This is how you cut the gap between releases while also maybe letting greener teams work on the half sequel with established tools and support. Santa Monica Studios is currently working on new God of War stuff, and I would wonder whether or not it will be God of War Ragnarok DLC or a half sequel." Now, with God of War Ragnarok releasing in November of last year, it would make sense by now that they would kind of turn their focus away from that game and rather put it towards a half sequel starring Atreus. Now, we're going to talk about the possibilities of Kratos being a part of that half sequel, but from all of the speculation and leaks, it sounds like that this game will be centered around Atreus and his his journey that he started at the end of God of War Ragnarok. Now, a while back, we also got the news from the actor that played Tyr, aka Ben Prendergast, said that that would not be the last time that players got to see the Norse God of War games. So if we're to believe Ben is telling the truth here, then God of War Ragnarok will not be the end of the Norse timeline, which of course will perfectly open up the door for DLC or the half sequel. And that's not to mention the multiple job openings for combat designer roles at Santa Monica Studios that require you to know about the combat of God of War Ragnarok. Why would they be hiring combat designers that are required to know about God of War Ragnarok's combat if they didn't plan on using those developers for a project in the Norse timeline or with a Norse God of War game? Now, this could be just a way to entice applicants, but in my opinion, it adds further credence to all of the rumors and leaks that point to something new happening in the Norse saga. Now, some fans have been quick to dismiss this leak from viewer Anon or any rumor that seems to suggest that new Norse themed projects are in the works. Now, I totally understand where those people are coming from, but you do have to admit there's quite a bit of evidence to suggest that something is happening. Santa Monica Studios is looking for new team members that were familiar with the gameplay of the Norse timeline. Multiple cast members have stated that they are coming back despite the Norse saga being over, at least for the mainline series. And then you've got the standalone Atreus spin-off game or half sequel rumors that have been popping off after the release of God of War Ragnarok and once people got to the end where Kratos and Atreus went their separate ways. Not to mention PlayStation is likely going to be utilizing this half sequel format a lot more, just like they did with Miles Morales, where Insomniac's B team kind of worked on that game while the A team worked on Spider-Man 2. The B team is obviously working on Wolverine now, but it totally makes sense for that current thing to be happening right now, with the bulk of the A team working on Sony Santa Monica's new sci-fi game with Cory Barlog at the helm, with Eric Williams working on the Atreus spin-off game and eventually God of War 6. Now, even though Kratos' story in the Norse timeline is pretty much wrapped up at this point if you played the game, there is still a ton of places where Atreus could go, literally. Atreus had a great emotional send-off in the main campaign of Ragnarok that left many fans like myself wanting to see more of him, so either a half sequel or a game where the entire focus is on Atreus in his solo arc, that would be a great way to keep us engaged with the story without altering the universe too much or making things too large scale right before transitioning to the eventual God of War 6 that will be in a new timeline. So that brings up the biggest question: will Kratos be a part of this next DLC or this half sequel game starring Atreus? And I'll say it right now, it's going to be really weird if a new God of War game came out without Kratos at the center stage. But with how emotional Atreus' story was and how much room there is for an expansion of the universe, I'm totally okay with the change of perspective. I know a lot of people would be completely against that, but there is still a lot of story that could be told with the Norse timeline. I think Atreus be the one to tie up all of the loose ends and finish off the Norse timeline would be a great thing to see. I'm perfectly fine with the change of perspective, but I understand a lot of people will only buy God of War with Kratos as center stage as the main character. Now, when it comes to the possible reveal of this new DLC or spin-off game or half sequel, I'm expecting there to be some kind of formal announcement within the next year. Sony typically does a big showcase near the start of the year and then one closer to the middle, and with how little we know about the future of PlayStation exclusives this year, it would totally make sense for them to announce it at one of the first showcases of next year. A half sequel does not need to be a full experience. It can be a smaller game, just like Miles Morales, where it's like a 7.5 hour game and it's priced accordingly. I think they could do 7.5 hours of content with ease. Now, it could be that we get a DLC for Ragnarok, but I doubt that's going to be the case. We're already a year out from the release of God of War Ragnarok, so I think they'd be better suited to just give us a half sequel, charge $29 or $30 and call it a day. Either way, Sony definitely needs some wins right now, so simply confirming either Ragnarok DLC or a half sequel would be enough to get the internet talking. Now, as for when this DLC or half sequel is going to launch, I think it's still another 6 to 8 months, maybe even a year and a half away. Santa Monica Studios was posting that job list in a few months ago, and assuming they found those people they wanted, that would mean that this DLC or half sequel has entered full production at best within the last month or two. Now, that's not to say that work hasn't already been done, as I'm pretty sure Santa Monica Studios has had a story planned out for this for quite some time, and since this will be either a half sequel or an expansion as opposed to a whole new game, it's not going to take nearly as long to develop. But game development does take a long time nowadays, and I'm doubtful that this expansion is going to have nearly as many people working on it as the next mainline God of War game, so you would have to expect work being done at a slower pace. Honestly, I think if PlayStation is willing to confirm and announce the DLC or half sequel early next year, that would put launch somewhere within the second half of 2024. I could be a little bit off base with that, but that's just my prediction. Either way though, guys, the hype is real for a half sequel or a DLC for Ragnarok. Would you be okay if Kratos was not the main character of a God of War Ragnarok half sequel? Let me know down below. Do me a favor, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel with your notifications turned on, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys again soon.